Hey everybody, this is Robot here from Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com here in San Diego, California, the premier dealership for the Vespa scooter. So for 2023, what does Vespa have to offer for the 150 range? They have the Vespa Primavera Picnic. And I said that right, Picnic. Two separate words, P-I-C-N-I-C, picnic. The way I say it is picnic, but Picnic is what this new 2023 Vespa that we have right behind me is called now. So what's so special about it? So it's pretty much, I'll get to the price, it's a $400 accessory package. And it's a pretty good value because you get quite a bit of good juicy accessories that you may find useful for your picnic. So pretty much 6,000 bucks. So $400 premium over the standard Primavera 150. They also make a 50cc model of these two beautiful colors. And to the right, we have the very classic Verde Relax. It's a very, very beautiful green, reminiscent of the original Vespa green, but the camera doesn't do it justice. If you have it out in the sun, it's actually a pearlescent green, and it looks magnificent. And we've sold a lot of Primaveras over the last 2 years in this color. It's been our most popular color, even in the Vespa GTS. And here to the left, I have the Grigio Delicato. So it's kind of a gray, blue, metallic. It's a pretty nice color as well. And I'll show you all the trims and how these colors work so well with the trim package that these scooters come with. And as you can see on the front, what's this? Is that a beach blanket? That's what I call it here in San Diego. We don't really have picnic mats, but usually it's a Mexican blanket or a beach blanket, but that's a picnic blanket. And let's get right to it. I want to pull it right off and see what it is. This is the first time I'm actually checking this out. So it's got these nice leather straps. And if you look at this little tag right here, Vespa Picnic. You gotta say it the way they wrote it. It's not a picnic, it's a picnic. And I'm kind of curious how large this is. It looks like it's made out of a nylon, kind of ballistic nylon material. Very nice. Very nice, but I think I'd use it as a beach blanket in the sand in San Diego. Just like my tarp when I do the yard work. Pretty much rolls up the same way. One more little detail here, made in Italy. All right, so I'm gonna start from the front of the scooter and show you everything that's unique about the Picnic model. Did I say that right again? Picnic. So of course it comes with the full touring rack. This is the original Vespa accessory rack. This is nearly a $300 value if you had to buy it alone anyways. And it's very nice how it mounts into the bodywork of the scooter. And of course, you get the picnic blanket and the beautiful leather straps. Moving down to the horn cover, you can just start to see some of the brown accents that they've added to the Picnic model. So you got the brown horn cover. So moving down to the wheel, you have a more deluxe wheel than the standard Primavera. A standard Primavera or a Primavera Touring just comes with an all silver wheel. The Primavera Picnic has wheels similar to the Primavera Sport or the Sprint Sport in a two-tone finish. So you got the machined aluminum edge and you have a warm gray with a tinge of like brown sparkle to it in the inner part of the wheel. So it kind of ties in with the warm and cool color combinations that they have going for this scooter. All right, so moving on to the inner leg shield of the Vespa. You have the standard affairs for the instrumentation on the Primavera, the very classic instrumentation, high contrast like black and white, and in the evening it illuminates all blue. I'll show you that a little bit later. Moving down to the glove box door itself, you have a special edition badge, and it looks pretty nice. It's kind of got that same metallic silverish brown on the background, and Vespa Picnic, 2 words. And moving on to the floorboard, instead of the standard black floorboard rubber and center mat, you have the brown that will carry on up to the seat. So you have a seat. The material color matches the floor strips. You got the classic white piping that follows around. This is a twin seat, so you can have your passenger on the back and a rider. And this is a pretty nice touch right here. It's kind of got a twill look or a burlap kind of look to it. It is just vinyl material, but it's got really nice texture to it on the back part of the seat. I've never seen Vespa do anything like this, a little bit different. And of course you got the tricolores right on the strap there. Pretty nice little touch. And moving down to the wheel, you got the standard fare for the muffler, but it has, of course, a matching rear wheel, 12-inch rear wheel. It matches the same finishes as the front. And of course, the most stellar part of this whole scooter package is the picnic basket itself. So instead of a standard Primavera where you just get a basic grab rail, the scooter includes the folding rack and all the parts that attach this included basket with the scooter onto the back. So you can see it's got a special badge on the back of this basket. This basket looks to be really nice quality, like the knit on the basket itself is really, really tight compared to what I've mostly seen. You can see it's coated, like clear coated. I wouldn't call it weather resistant. There's even a warning that says it isn't weatherproof, but we'll get to that a little bit later because I do include an accessory that protects this basket. So you got the leather straps, just like the front, matches the front. And let's see what's in store in the basket, what's included. I actually have never opened this, the first time here. So get the basket open. And of course, you can use this storage container. Includes this very nice inner bag right here. And what else is included in here? There's something that's Velcro. I can hear the Velcro. I'm pulling up. And I guess you'd call this the charcuterie board. But it's just kind of the bottom of the basket. It does come out. So once you're past the charcuterie board, let's see what this bag is all about. This isn't just any bag. It's a foil line bag for insulating your sandwiches, your wine bottle, whatever you want in here. Keep it a little cooler for a little bit longer if that's what you're going to use it for. But ideally, if you're just using the scooter to go around town, maybe you could take this into the grocery store, fill it with contents, and then take it home. Whatever you want to do with it. And sadly, they do not include any of the options that go into this. So it looks like you could put some small dishes and a set of silverware into these leather hoops right here. So the last detail of the Picnic Edition is they added these brown stripes, and they're present on both the green and the blue version of the Picnic Edition Primavera. So let's see what we have in store underneath the seat. So here's the last accessory that's included with it. And you wonder, well, why does it have a black bag? It doesn't match anything else on the scooter. But this is your weather-resistant bag that goes over the basket. Maybe you get caught in a rainstorm, but it pretty much goes over it. It's got a drawstring that will tighten it right up and pretty much keep it out of the elements. So now that I've showed you everything that's special about the Vespa Picnic Edition Primavera, like I said, a $400 premium over the standard Primavera, so you're looking at MSRP of $599 plus whatever dealer fees that you may have. Very good value. Maybe you do not want to have the basket and that on there, but just the racks alone are going to cost you over $400 if you had to buy them as accessories. So now I'm going to show you everything about the 2023 Primavera 150. And just for your information, it really hasn't changed in the last couple of years. It's just the perfect tried and true Power plant in this scooter, the same options and all that as the prior models of Primaveras that I reviewed for the last couple of years. Of course, they have the all LED headlight on there that was added a couple of years ago. But let's get right to it. So if you're a newbie to the Vespa, I'm going to tell you everything about the scooter and give it the review. So moving on to the handlebars, we have a pair of levers, the right being your front brake, which is a hydraulic disc brake on the front, and the rear being a drum brake, which gives you a long lifetime without needing much maintenance. You do occasionally have to adjust the cable, and that's done during the standard services. And moving on to the tried and true classic instrumentation. Nothing more and nothing less than what you need. Has a very legible, easy to read analog speedometer with some beautiful backlighting. That's both in blue and white for the miles per hour outer scale. As you can see, it goes up to 90 miles an hour on the scale. And you're probably wondering what the top speed of a 150 modern Vespa. It's just shy of 70 miles an hour. It's just enough to get you on the interstate. Although I wouldn't really recommend it. If you're looking to do higher speeds for longer sustained periods of riding, I would suggest moving on up to the larger, heavier scooters such as the Vespa GTS 300. Moving on to some of these lights, you got an ABS light. A lot of people ask about that light. Every time you come to a stop, it does blink. The reason it's blinking is just letting you know the ABS isn't active. When the light's off, it means the ABS is active. It's kind of counterintuitive, but that's how the indicators, or idiot lights as I like to call them, function in cars as well. Same with the check engine light and the oil light. The lights will go out when things are normal. When they come on, then there's a problem. But of course, you got other standard indicators such as high beams, turn signals, even a low fuel indicator. Indicates when you're on the last half gallon of reserve fuel. You got a multi-segment fuel gauge right there. Works pretty well. And an odometer that also has 2 trip odometers and your time. So like I said, everything you need to see, nothing more. Moving on to the controls, you got your horn. You got push to cancel turn signals. They do not auto cancel like much higher end motorcycles or a car. Got your high beam, low beam with a passing function. And moving on to the right, you have your engine kill switch, the shut the motor down in emergency. And you have the start button and a mode button that cycles between the trip odometer and sets your clock. So to start a modern Vespa scooter, or pretty much any modern automatic scooter, you got to pull one or the other brake and push the start button, and it comes right to life. Moving on down to the key switch, it's got several functions. If you put it in the 12 o'clock position, it comes right out. And these keys do have an immobilizer chip in there. The plus is it's very difficult to steal these scooters. The negative is it's going to cost you a little bit more to duplicate a key. But the best line of defense is you could turn your steering to the far left and turn that key counterclockwise to the 9 o'clock position. Pull the key out, and it pretty much locks the whole scooter down. These do have enough weight to them. They're not easy to lift. You're talking almost 300 pounds. Be pretty hard to walk off with it. And to unlock it, you have the accessory position, so it's right at the 1 o'clock position. You can push the key in. It reveals a glove box, has about just enough storage to put your mobile phone or a wallet, and it also has a USB charging receptacle for your phone. And go one more click, your ignition's on. And in the accessory position, or if it's in the on, you have this button right to the left of the key. You push that, and that electronically pops the seat again. So underneath the seat, you have this storage bucket, and it removes easily to do service to the engine. Much easier than many other brands of scooters. I find these are really easy to work on versus a lot of other scooters, including Piaggio's own, where you need to remove several bodywork pieces that have several types of fasteners to gain access. And you're wondering about what size helmet. You could fit a smaller size full face helmet, but a standard 3/4 face helmet or a half shell will fit in there just fine. Volume wise, it's pretty nice. You can pretty much put a overstuffed grocery bag under there and you're just fine. 2-year warranty, owner's manual, and you get the master key along with the service key that you use day to day. The most important features: do not put your pets underneath the seat. Also included is a toolkit. You have your gas filler, just about 2 gallons. You wonder what the mileage is. It completely depends on how you ride it. If you're riding it full throttle all day, you could probably expect to get about 70 miles per gallon, but that's not normal operating. But if you're pretty easy with it, no problem getting 100 miles per gallon. So you're looking at a range of over 150 miles per tank full. Maybe if you ride it even easy enough and run the whole tank, you get almost 200 miles of range. Very thrifty on the gas compared to a car or even any motorcycle. My motorcycle's getting to the high 40s if I'm lucky. A GTS is like in the mid 60s, so this is definitely much better on the mileage. And if you move on to the 50, which obviously is a much slower scooter, a 50cc model of this, you're looking at about a 35, 40 mile an hour top speed at the very most. You're definitely well into the 100 mile per gallon range, maybe almost 150 miles per gallon. But again, those smaller scooters, you do work them harder because it's a smaller engine to maintain, urban traffic speeds of like 25, 35 miles an hour. Here in San Diego, the 150 is the way to go. It's not much dense urban area in San Diego. So if you're wondering what height that Vespa typically fits, there is an option to lower it. I'm about, 5'7", and I have no problem at all flat-footing it. But if you're under 5'3", 5'2", you may want to consider lowering the scooter. And at scooterwest.com, we have all the parts needed to lower the scooter just a little bit. Or you could even take it further by modifying the seat. But pretty easy to ride. I can easily flat-foot it on both sides. And if you're a passenger, ample room to sit on the back side and of the seat, and you also have the passenger footrest pads. So there is an optional side stand or a kickstand, just like a bicycle that you can put on there. But if you're looking for the most stable stand, it's included with the scooter, and they typically refer to it as a center stand. And once you get used to the motion, you pretty much level the scooter, give it just a quick little kick down, and it pops right up on the stand. All right, so moving on to the rear, you got a nice looking LED taillight. The brake light lights up in the center there. You got these 2 dead lights. This was changed several years ago on how the configuration of these lights when they went to the LED taillight. In the European market, these are clear lenses that operate as a turn signals. But here in North America, these were just like a ½ inch off from the required distance for the North American standard, so they add these silly pods. Of course, on the Scooter West web store, we do have the kits available to eliminate these pods and convert it to the standard European affair. Moved on down, you got your license light and the plate holder itself. You have the muffler and all the other engine-related components down low on the scooter. The one thing that's very nice about a scooter versus a motorcycle, the weight is just so low. You got a battery that's at the floorboard, and all the weight of the engine is down on the floorboard. And it gives you a really nice, balanced, nimble feeling vehicle. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, what do you do with such small tires? Yeah, of course, if you go over a big pothole, it's gonna be a little rough on a smaller tire. But the added plus of the smaller tires, you get a very quick and nimble steering. So you could dodge those potholes a lot easier than you could on a heavier motorcycle or scooter with larger tires. So they both have different feels. Of course, if you have lots of experience and ridden different ones, they have their pluses and minuses. And for the packaging of a scooter, the 12-inch tire works very nice. So included with the scooters, pretty much all these Vespa models, the Primaveras and Sprints, the 150 in specific, you also get this added key fob. One thing to keep in mind is if you buy the 50cc model, it does not have an electronic actuator for the seat, so you got to physically use a key to open the seat. These ones have the electronic actuator. If you push that one, it looks like a lock, you hold it, and it will pop the seat. You can hear the actuator go off, and then your seat's open, So you can be walking up to the scooter with the steering locked and open up the seat. The bottom two buttons function with the accessory alarm. That's an added option for this scooter. And this horn looking one has nothing to do with the horn, but if you hold it, it flashes your turn signals as a bike finder. All right, so let me go over some of the technical features of this Primavera 150 scooter. Like I said, a generous underseat bay. It's also got a nice carpet under here, some warning stickers such as no pets and more. You got a basic toolkit, gives you enough tools to adjust your suspension or change the battery if you need to. There's an accessory cover, weather cover, that goes over the seat. It stores in this little pocket right here. And at the very front of the seat, there's a bag hook to hook your grocery bags. And like I said, this removes and reveals the engine. So you have the fuel injected 3-valve motor. So it's got 2 intake valves, a single exhaust valve, a simple and low maintenance air cooled setup. So there's a cooling fan on the right side of the motor, draws air and passes it right through all this plastic shrouding. Being a 4-stroke motor, you just do standard services every 3,000 miles on the scooter. Just due for a routine service. And at 6,000 miles is when the more involved services come about, such as the belt and the spark plug air filters and more. You can see all the electronics. It's all been very rugged, very low maintenance. You got a pair of throttle cables on your throttle body, a fuel injector. You have an emissions control system right here. Keeps all those gas fumes to a minimum. And the unique thing about a Vespa is the fuel tank runs the whole perimeter of the frame. It's tucked all inside the frame, so you get this nice generous underseat storage bay because they were able to custom mold a fuel tank that surrounds the back part of the scooter. Again, that keeps the gas very low in the frame. Adds to the nice center of gravity that's very low, gives them a very nice handling characteristics that are found on the Vespa. And as you can see, the frame members, it's all steel. This whole entire chassis is all steel. Some of the inner parts, such as the glove box and the floorboard, are plastic. It's much thicker steel. You can kind of see the edge of it, probably about twice the thickness of standard automotive sheet metal. Built just like they did back in 1946, and it gives them a fit and finish that's unlike any other scooter, having an all steel bodywork. All right, well, thanks for watching. Kind of covered everything I could tell you about the Vespa Picnic and just the general features of the Primavera 150. If you've been around Vespas for a while, hasn't changed much in that regard, but if you're new to it, I hope that informed you and you can make an informed decision if a Vespa is the right kind of scooter for you. And if you're interested in San Diego and purchasing a Vespa, you can check us out on the web at vespamotorsport.com. If you're just interested in Vespas in general, you come to the right place on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel with just hundreds of videos, mostly about Vespas, and I have several of them covering parts, accessories, and service on the Primavera scooter, including prior reviews of the Primavera and how it performs. You could just go down that rabbit hole known as YouTube. Just go in that search engine on type Vespa Motorsport, and you can go right to our page on YouTube and just type the word Primavera, and it's going to come back with hundreds of videos. And thanks for watching. This is Robot here from Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And I post weekly content all about Vespas. And look out for my next video. I have the Robot Edition Primavera Picnic. This is the Picnic, but I did a Robot Edition Picnic. And I kind of built it before I knew what this scooter looked like. These were a little bit late to North America. So look out for that next video. See you on the next one.